in the world does a bulimic alcoholic woman end up publishing a book about style and manners?
You guys, I'm here with Laura Martella.
Author Laura Martella is here.
Meet Gentleman Norman and Laura Martella.
And become a leading clean food expert, teaching people to change their lives through the food they eat. My answer?
Still. You see me fly, you know they'll never catch me for it. See me fly, the way I put my finger on it. See me fly, you got it.
It's the power of God's grace.
The wrong guy.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into my podcast. You know, I love to share and talk about all things health, hope, and gratitude. Today's podcast is dedicated to my beautiful mother in heaven, Patricia Zweig. If you've been following me for a while or in my life, I know all my friends from high school watch this. Alzheimer's is my cause. My beautiful mom, early onset from the age of 62 to 72. And I am wearing her serpentine necklace, which I always do at my speaking engagements, and her little rings around my neck. Some of you know that I published a book in 2012, and everything that I do in my life today is to honor my mom and my dad. You know, I got sober at 35, and the first 10 years of my sobriety were about the living amends to my mom and my dad. Thank God that I got sober in 2000, the year that she had the early symptoms of early onset. And those first 10 years of my sobriety, I was just there for my mom and dad. And to be fully available for my parents, especially as someone with no children, it was the greatest honor of my life. So my book is in honor of my mom. Most of my speaking engagements is in honor of my mom and my dad. We can't forget the caregivers. And so today we're talking about Alzheimer's. And I have my beautiful friend, Julie Tharpe, here. And Julie is the executive director of Memory Matters Glen. And we just want to share with you guys our Alzheimer's stories, what we're Julie working tirelessly for. I don't know how you're it. You're the bomb, Julie.
Well,
welcome.
You're very sweet. Thank you. Thank you. It is definitely a passion. I too, as you know, lost my mom to Alzheimer's, as well as my grandmother, my aunt, my great aunt, 2 great aunts. So there's a lot of it in my family, and I've seen what it can do to families. I'm obviously more entrenched in it now because every story's different, and every family's different. Every Alzheimer's case is different. Yeah. And of course, with Memory Matters, we're more than just Alzheimer's. We also help people with Parkinson's, with vascular dementia, with FTD, Lewy body, all the different types of dementia. So it is definitely a passion for me.
All those, your aunt and your mother, was that all on your maternal side?
Yes.
Gotcha. Yes. And I remember my grandmother had it, my mom's mom. And my mother was so worried about getting it. And she was very cooperative in the beginning. What happened for her, and I want to hear a little details too, so we can tell everybody. And I love what you said about every case is different. For my mom, it was her dream to retire here on St. Simon's Island from Atlanta. And by the way, you all, I usually say welcome to my home, but I want you to know this is this was my parents' home. I inherited it from them. And I get to brush my teeth in my mom's sink. Of course, I redid everything, and I know she would love the way that I did it. But my mother, so they retired here, and she got lost on the way home, driving home. I mean, when she got here in 95, she was retired. She retired early, and she was involved in everything on that. I mean, newcomers, garden club, if you name it, she was involved.
Right. Yeah.
But she got lost on the way home, and she came in and she put her keys down, and she said to my father, Richard, it's happening. And she was very cooperative. Tell me a little bit about your mother, or whoever you want to talk about, like how it started and the journey.
I really think with my mom, she had the symptoms long before we recognized it. Once she got the diagnosis, I mean, once it got to the point where she was very obviously forgetting things, she was losing things, misplacing things, repeating herself, that's when you know.
Yeah.
But then when you get the diagnosis, you can look back and go, okay, now that makes sense. She was doing this, and now that makes sense. So she probably had it for years before we realized what it was.
Yeah.
And like I said, every case is different. So when she started, she wasn't doing the asking the same question every 5 minutes. That wasn't one of her early symptoms. So that didn't come until later. And so and I'm sure a whole lot of people think the same thing. They get the diagnosis and they go, okay, now that makes sense. So.
Yeah. And I mean, I remember my grandmother having it, but I wasn't on the front lines.
Same here.
Yes. And so with my mom, because I'm an only child and my dad is 20 years older than my mom, you know, I was on the front lines, and I was very involved. And you think, you know, y'all, unless you experience it, I remember thinking, well, it's not so bad if you forget things. It's, you know, you just keep reminding them that it's so much more than this. And there was one episode that I remember with my mom, and my mother was such a go-getter. She was so vivacious, just a driven woman. And everything she ever wanted to accomplish in life, she did. So I found her crying in her closet. And she was angry and frustrated, like angry crying, not, you know, quietly crying. She was pissed and crying.
Yeah.
And she was like, and I finally said, what's going on? And she just sobbed and said, why can't I remember how to put my legs in my pants? I can't get my pants on, you know? And that is like, can you imagine if you can't get your pants on? And then another thing that happened to my mother, she was terrified because she didn't know where she was. Like in the later stages, once I had her in an assisted living, she was terrified. She never forgot me, but, you know, she didn't know where she was. And I can imagine, you know, if you wake up and you don't know where you are and you don't know what you're doing in this place.
Or the people around you.
Yeah, that has to be terrifying. Yeah. So.
We had instances. I mean, my mom as well got lost. She, unfortunately, at 2:00 in the morning, in her pajamas, barefoot, went, and she didn't have her teeth in, which sometimes you have to laugh.
Yes.
But she got out, got in her car, drove to one of the little convenience stores here on St. Simon's, and couldn't figure out how to get home. I mean, she got out of her car because she saw the lights, and she I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know where I live. And thank heaven, there was a very nice, honest person there who called the police and said, I'm standing here with this woman. She doesn't know where she is. So the police, figured
Through
it
the
all
car
out.
tags.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and called us, and we had to go and get her. So, those kind of things happen. It's terrifying. That's when you take the keys away. That is one of the things that is absolutely the hardest for most people when they're dealing with a loved one with Alzheimer's or any other kind of dementia. They need or want that independence.
Yeah.
And taking away their keys is just so difficult for them. They're giving up that independence, and they hate it. And I mean, that's one of the things that causes huge arguments in families, and is just, it can set an Alzheimer's patient off. But it has to be done because they're not only a threat to themselves, but they're a threat to everybody else on the road. I've had my mom's neurologist told us that they can be driving down the street and everything's fine and dandy, and then all of a sudden something will click in their brain or shut off, and they'll see that red light hanging from the sky and go, well, isn't that a pretty light? And go right through it. It's that quick. And, down the road, they may remember what the red light was. It's just when they're in those earlier stages, it kind of ebbs and flows. And that's why they say you can have good days and you can have bad days as an Alzheimer's patient, So that's the kind of thing when it comes to driving, you've got to take those keys because you just don't know. It's going to be a nightmare, but you've got to do it.
Yes, you do. And you are on the front lines of all of our clients at Memory Matters. And I want to talk about a little bit. I've been on the board for almost 2 years, and it was such an unexpected, beautiful surprise for our late Gail Callan I met one of the board members at an event, and I'm just so honored. I love the people on our board. Yep. I believe in this cause. Talk a little bit about what we do, what Memory Matters is, and what the services provided. Tell everybody.
Okay. We are a support organization for people with dementia, Alzheimer's, Lewy body, Parkinson's, vascular. I'm missing a big one, FTD.
And what is FTD?
FTD, I'm going to mispronounce it, but it's frontotemporal disorder.
Okay. So,
or dementia.
Any dementia-related illness.
Yes. Okay. That is what Bruce Willis has, FTD. And apparently Wendy Williams does as well. That she recently came out with that. Starts with aphasia, and then,
And what is aphasia?
Aphasia is when you have difficulty speaking. Oh. It's like you're struggling for words, or you'll say, "This is my salad." No, it's not my salad. This is my phone. Gosh. So it's struggling for words.
Okay.
Train of thought.
What Memory Matters offers.
So, we support both the person with dementia and the caregiver. And the caregiver support is, I know, when I first got into it, it was all thinking about the person with the disease. But really, as I've gotten into it, and now I've been here for 3 years, it's as much, if not more, about the caregiver than it is about the person with the disease. And I say that because, we have primarily our number one thing is that we have events at the house. We have a wonderful house. It's a residential, it's a house.
Yeah.
It's over by the hospital.
It's
It is,
darling.
I know, it is so cute. It is owned by the hospital, and they are gracious enough to rent it to us for a nominal fee. And we are very, very thankful. I'm going to put that plug in here for the Southeast Georgia Health System for that
Yes.
house. They're a huge supporter of ours. But we have events at the house. We do things like we play bingo, and we have Movie Monday, and we have a theme party every month, and coloring and puzzles, and just a lot of things that the caregiver brings their loved one to. We call them loved ones, the people who have dementia.
Oh, I love
We call them loved
that.
ones. So they bring their loved one to the house, and we entertain them. We give them things to do. We have brain games. That's a big one I forgot.
Mhm.
We have brain games. Anything that will stimulate brain function and
Mhm.
brain activity. And a lot of it is just like the coloring and puzzles and the theme parties. It's really primarily about being social.
Yes.
Social interaction is vital to cognitive health.
Mm-hmm.
So, you think back about during COVID, when everybody had, social isolation, how bad was that for America?
Right.
It was, deadly,
It
literally
was.
deadly
Yes.
for so many people. So social isolation is social activity and social interaction are the things that we really, really, really push. And one thing that we see so much is that when a person gets Alzheimer's, they tend to isolate,
Mhm.
not only because they don't feel comfortable going out, but people don't feel comfortable around them.
It's so true.
And so then the caregivers end up isolating. I had somebody just the other day, once again, and I hear this probably once a week, our friends used to come over all the time and visit us, or come to dinner, or they'd invite us to dinner, but they don't do it anymore because they just don't know how to act around, my loved one.
Yeah, people don't know what to say or what to do. And I'm so glad that you pointed this out about caring for the caregivers. It's not uncommon for the caregiver to pass away before the loved
Absolutely.
one because
Stress.
and it's unimaginable unless you've lived it. And I believe in this so much because when my parents lived here in the 90s, and I was going back and forth from San Diego a lot, my dad would have loved, he would have been over there every day to eat the food, to get some attention and to get just some relief and a provided meal and a provided activity so that he could just
Breathe.
It is such an important cause. And
It is.
I don't think we said this yet. And we're going to take a break in a second, but everything that Memory Matters offers is free.
It is free. 100% free. It's not free because we charge your insurance. It is free.
It is free, and we're not government funded.
Correct.
Everything that we raise, and we're going to talk about our big, exciting fundraiser, but every dollar stays in Georgia.
It stays in Glenn County. It helps people right here in Glenn County.
It is a beautiful cause. We'll be back in a second. As your clean food expert, I am here to tell you that hunger is never a part of getting healthy. It is time to stop dieting and start eating. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. We had to rearrange some things. I think I might have been lisping, but more importantly, Gentleman Norman was snoring so loud, distracting us both. If you hear it, I apologize, we have now moved him. But, it's his house and I love him. And anyway, sometimes you hear Norman snoring because he has a little collapsed trachea. So with the trachea issue, his snoring is super loud. I had to get custom earplugs to be able to cohabitate with him. But anyway, we're going to talk about our big fundraiser.
Yes.
But more importantly, we want to continue to talk about all the things that Memory Matters offers on a daily basis.
Okay, absolutely. We talked about a few. Want to include that we have what we call a lunch and learn, where we serve lunch and have a person from one of the local organizations, whether it's another nonprofit or a healthcare agency of some sort, doctors, the assisted living, home care, memory care communities in town, whatever is important to people who are aging or important to people with Alzheimer's and caregiving. And so we have that once a month, again, free. We have counseling services for our caregivers and for people who are newly diagnosed. Sometimes that, they
So
need that as well.
important.
The counseling, and we've already had to expand to having 2 counselors, and we've got another one in the works.
And is Dale one of them?
Dale is one of them.
Oh my
And the
God.
other one is Miranda Elliott, who is with Hospice of the Golden Isles. She comes to us once a month and spends all day having one-on-one counseling sessions with, like I said, caregivers, primarily caregivers. And it is, I cannot tell you how people need that.
Oh.
It is so vital. One thing that a lot of people don't realize, a lot of caregivers don't realize they're going through is grief. And it's pre-loss grief. You're still grieving for the person that you knew. You're grieving the person that you loved, because that person, while they may physically be here, mentally they're not there. Their personalities are not what you're used to.
Right.
And so you're grieving the loss of that person while they're still here. And it is important to deal with that.
Yeah.
There's so many other things that you have to deal with. Let's get the help that you need. And we provide it through our board member and through Hospice of the Golden Isles, for whom we are extremely thankful. And it's, again, at no charge. So that's huge. We also have 6 support groups every month. So we do one in Brunswick, we do 2 in Brunswick, one on St. Simon's, one on Jekyll, one in Darien, and then we have one that is Parkinson specific, because we call them care partners when it's Parkinson's. Their challenges are a little bit different than someone with Alzheimer's.
Yes.
So-
And many times, like my mom, she had Alzheimer's and Parkinson's.
Yeah.
That happens as well.
A lot of times you see Lewy body and Parkinson's together. So-
And where do people need to go to see our schedule and our list of services and everything?
online, memorymattersglenn.com.
memorymattersglenn.com.
Yeah. Now, we have a lot of information from the Alzheimer's Association, the National Institute on Health, National Institute on Aging, all the organizations that we can, that supply. We get it and we keep it at the house. So it's like a one-stop shop. You don't
Yes.
have to go and be searching for all of these things. You got enough on your mind.
Right.
We're here to help you find all of this. We also have a semi-extensive lending library.
I love the lending library. I have sent many people to you over there, and that is so beneficial. Tell us
really
a little
is.
bit more about that.
We try to get books on aging, on healthy eating, on and then all the different types of dementia, whether it's just dementia, vascular, Alzheimer's, all the different types. We've already been through that.
Mhm.
We find books on caregiving,
Oh.
on being a caregiver, how to survive. And I think there's actually one called the Caregiver Survival Handbook. There's just, what can we do? The 36-hour day, a lot of people I know,
Mhm.
Emma Willis, Bruce Willis's wife, has talked about how beneficial that book was to her. We have a lot of copies of that.
And one of the things that I was so impressed with is we offered the free caregiver training from the Rosalind Carter Institute. If any of you all are dealing with your family member, your loved one with memory issues, and you don't know what to do, or even if you think you know what to do, you need to take this free course. It's offered at Memory Matters from time to time. And I just want to say this, Julie, and I know as a board member, I needed to go over there and take it. And my dad passed away in 2010, and my mom passed away early 2011. And I've been around Alzheimer's and speaking about it through promoting my book, and then when I came on the board here, but I had not in a very long time sat with caregivers and our loved ones. And I love that we call them loved ones. And it is gut wrenching.
It is.
And if you are a caregiver and you are frustrated and you get angry, please give yourself some grace and know that you are not alone. And there are tools and there are training and there's like techniques, and you will be surprised. One of the things which I love in my business as clean food expert and accountability coach, I'm very big on self-care. And caregivers, I love you. My heart goes to you. You have got to give yourself some grace and a respite. And we'll talk about that in a second. And self-care. You've got to take care of yourself. And it seems selfish. You've got to take care of yourself. And I could talk to you for another hour on how to eat to help your loved one and how to help yourself, because food does make a great difference. We can talk about that in another episode. I just want this to be about Memory Matters, and we're here if you need us. And Julie,
please take advantage of the support groups and the counseling.
Yes, my dad needed it so badly.
Absolutely. And I don't think you really realize how much you need it until you come in and go to a couple of them. And then it's like, oh my gosh. And so often you feel, because of the isolation that we previously mentioned, you feel like you're all alone and nobody else is going through this.
Yes.
That is not the case. There are hundreds. I mean, I've got statistics here, but
which we need to talk about. There's so much to talk about.
There's so much to talk about. But you're not alone. There are other people going through this. And another good thing, not only because you get to unload, but when you go to these support groups, you may say, I'm having this problem with my loved one. I don't know what to do. I'm having this problem and I'm at my wit's end. Someone else may have already been through that, and they can say, oh, here's what I did. Or have you tried this? So you get a lot of great information. I learn something every single time we have one of these groups.
Oh, yeah.
So
and what I loved during that training, well, the instructor was phenomenal.
She was great.
And the handbook, you get this free notebook that is everything you could ever want to know. But what I loved watching was the caregivers. Finally, it's like they could exhale.
Yeah.
And they did find out they're not alone.
Right.
And they did I mean, they just let it out. Like how many just tears of frustration. And it is not easy. And that's why we do what we do.
Exactly.
So we will talk about the fundraiser, but let's talk about a few statistics. People may not know these numbers are alarming.
They are alarming. Yes. I have to put on my glasses because I can't see squat.
Me too.
Let's see. 1 in 3 seniors dies with Alzheimer's or other type of dementia. 1 in 3. That's huge.
Yeah.
Alzheimer's kills more people than breast cancer and prostate cancer combined.
I did not know that.
Annually kills more people than breast cancer and prostate cancer combined.
Wow.
There are over 11 million, and this is, of course, an estimate, but there are 11 million Americans providing unpaid care for their loved ones. These caregivers provide more than 18 billion hours and valued at nearly $347 billion. It's huge. Between 2000 and 2021, deaths from heart disease have increased 2.1%. Deaths from Alzheimer's have increased 141%.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's terrifying.
I
The
had no
lifetime risk for Alzheimer's at age 45 is 1 in 5 for women and 1 in 10 for men. I mean, it's insane. Now, one of the things that, if you look at the 1 in 3 seniors, and let's say 1 in 3 people over the age of 65 will be diagnosed with Alzheimer's or dementia. 5th leading cause of death.
5th leading cause of death in the United States.
According to the 2023 census, 23% of Glenn County citizens are over the age of 65. There are over 85,000 people in Glenn County. So that means when you do the math, which I did before we started, there are as many as 5,900 people in Glenn County currently dealing with Alzheimer's. And keep in mind, you've got more and more people who are retiring here, and people are getting older.
Yeah.
And so that number, 5,900 are currently dealing with dementia, is just going to get bigger.
Right. This is such an important conversation, and I didn't know some of these statistics because, like I said, I haven't been out speaking and raising awareness in a really long time. Y'all, we need your support. Please. We want to talk about our fundraiser, which is
Music and Memories.
Last year was my first year as a board member, and I'm going to let you talk more about it, but I'm going to say this. If you live on St. Simon's Island, you've got to come. It's a Sunday afternoon. It's at the Lighthouse. Halyards is catering it. I don't know all these fabulous local bands, but if you live here, you probably do. But if you don't live here, you can still make a donation. You can still support this much needed cause. Please consider donating or sponsoring. We need your help so we can help all of these people in Glenn County. So let's hear some really fun stuff, Julie, about the fundraiser.
The fundraiser. It is April 28th. It's Sunday from 5 to 8.
Is that in 2 weeks? 3 weeks?
3 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Math. 3 weeks from tomorrow. It's a fun event. We have a live auction. We have a silent auction. We have a raffle. We've got the wine toss, which you're not tossing wine. You're tossing rings onto wine. If you think of
so fun.
Yeah, it is. It's a hoot. But primarily, the name of it is Music and Memories. And the reason we named it that is because the memories of music are some of the last memories that you lose. Now, I will tell you a personal story on this one. As my grandmother was passing away, I think it was her last week. She was in the hospital. We went to visit her. It was myself and my mother and my aunt. And she was nonverbal at that point. Basically in a coma, but not really actually in a coma. I don't know what that state is, pre-coma, but, not moving, not communicating, but she was conscious. Couldn't talk to you. So you're just sitting there and, being with her as you do. But we ended up singing some of her favorite hymns, and she started singing with us.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So it's music. It's all about music. And so that's why we're taking that to be our fundraiser.
I'm so glad you shared that. Yeah. I got it, but until you shared that, yeah, that's super powerful.
It is. And you hear that a lot. I mean, you look at Glenn Campbell and Tony Bennett. A lot of times they couldn't remember, who they were talking to, or they couldn't, what you normally think of as Alzheimer's. They can't, There's so much they can't remember. You give them a guitar and they can play.
Yeah, it's so beautiful.
They can sing. They know the words of the songs. It's all about music.
I always played in my mom's room, country hymns, just the music. I think let's take a quick break.
Okay.
And then we're going to talk about the auction items, the bands. We'll be right back. What in the world is a clean food expert, and why do you need me? Well, in today's information overload, I am going to help you learn how to decipher misleading food labels, not the marketing buzzwords that get you to buy the product, but I will leave your home with clean food brands, simple food prepping recipes, and I'm going to back it up with daily accountability and weekly sessions with me. I've got your back. I'm so grateful and honored to have my first guest be you, Julie, and to honor my mom and your mom, dedicating this podcast to them and talking about the good work that Memory Matters is doing, and this really fun upcoming fundraiser. It's the third annual
Music and Memories.
And tell us, okay, since I'm newer here, I don't know what a big deal it is to have these bands, but you locals, okay, go, Julie, tell them.
We have Michael Hewlett. He is amazing. He's a saxophone player and singer. He is just phenomenal. He actually graduated from Glenn Academy the year after I did.
Oh.
He's just super. I mean, pretty much everybody around here knows who he is.
Yes,
he's an absolute favorite here. And our other band is Hot Banana Coffee.
Hot Banana Coffee.
Hot Banana Coffee. They will probably
Wayne
tell the
is
story.
Going crazy over Hot Banana Coffee.
They will tell the story of how they got their name, but they are fabulous.
What kind of music do they play?
You name it and they can play it.
Really?
I mean, they do, the girl's name is Dakota. The guy's name is Ashton.
Mm-hmm.
And they run the gamut of music. Now, they have come, they're one of the wonderful local musicians who has volunteered their time to come and play. I cannot believe I did not mention at Memory Matters, we have a music event every month. I don't know why I forgot that one.
And we have yoga. John Hartland does his yoga.
Yes.
And I want to say one more thing. And I'm sorry we're going all over the place, but this is our last segment and there's so much to say. But every time I walk in the house, there's like a new theme. It is so well decorated and fun for like whatever holiday is coming up. And it's a light. It's just a light in the dark days of dementia.
It's fun. We do go overboard with decorations.
I love it.
This month we have a new one. We're doing movies.
So
Oscars.
cute.
Our party is going to be Oscar themed. It's going to be. We'll be dressed formal. We wear costumes.
You all
It's-
have as
it's
much fun as they do.
We do. It's a ball.
All
So,
right. So hot banana
hot
coffee.
banana coffee. They are fabulous. She did a song one time that was Johnny Cash.
Mm.
No, you think about a girl doing Johnny Cash, and you're like, that's just not going to work. It was phenomenal.
Oh my
And
God.
sadly, I can't even tell you what the song was, but I
I'm
just
so
sat there the whole time going,
excited.
you know,
Yeah.
they are so talented, so incredibly talented.
And Halyards is catering it again
Halyards
this
is
year.
catering, yes.
Okay, last year, the steak that they served, remember they had
Yes.
that sliced steak. Y'all, if it's Halyards, I know I can eat it because they use olive oil.
Yep.
And oh my God, the food was delicious.
It was
A
delicious.
Sunday afternoon
Sunday
at the
afternoon.
Lighthouse
Yes.
on St. Simon's Island. It just
Yep.
doesn't get much better.
No.
What about some of the auction items?
Well, for our live auction, we have Golfer 4 at Sea Island with lunch in the Oak Room or the men's locker room,
Nice.
which is huge. We have a kettle and table from Sea Island Forge.
Nice.
Stunning. I mean, that's just one of those. Oh
A
my gosh.
kettle
Mhm.
and table.
The kettle, and it's a tabletop so that
Oh,
you can
wow.
you put the tabletop on top of the kettle. And so, it's not in case you just need a table and you don't want it to burn.
Right.
Or it actually has a base that you can put the tabletop on and use the kettle.
Oh, sounds
So,
beautiful.
It's wonderful. And we just found out, we were so excited. We got the trip on the pilot boat again. We had it last year, and the gentleman who won it just went on it within the last month
Mhm.
and said it was phenomenal.
What's
and I'm
the
hoping,
pilot boat?
You
I
know
mean,
that-
I've heard it, but I've never asked.
the pilot boat, those giant ships that come in,
Uh-huh.
they have a special pilot who, lives in Glenn County. And the pilot boat
The
takes
cargo ship?
the cargo ships.
Uh-huh.
There are certain areas that they have to go through. It's huge, massive amount of training
Uh-huh.
to be a pilot, to pilot one of those ships through the channel and up to the port.
Okay.
And so the prize is the boat that takes the pilot out to the big ship and, lets him get on the boat. You get to ride with him.
Oh, that's fun.
So you're in this little bitty boat next to this,
Uh-huh.
I mean, they have gone on and on about how wonderful this trip
That
is. So
sounds
we are
great.
so excited to have that again. And of course, the kettle from Sea Island Forge.
yeah.
And,
they have
Sea Island
gorgeous
Golf, I mean,
things. It doesn't get any better
it doesn't
than
get
that.
any better than golf at Sea Island. So,
Right. It doesn't.
but we have so many other prizes. I mean, I should have my list here, but we'd be here the whole time
Mhm.
talking about how many things. But the big thing that I want to say about our auction, silent auction, live auction, everything, the raffle, huge raffle. Don't forget the raffle. Support your local businesses.
Yes.
It's real easy to just push that little buy now button on your phone and, shop from Amazon or wherever.
Mhm.
But please buy local, because all of these, most of these not door prizes, auction prizes and, raffle prizes and everything were donated from our local businesses.
Yes.
And that is huge. If it was not for our local businesses, the 600 or 300, whatever it is, nonprofit agencies in Glenn County would not be here to serve the people of Glenn County. So it is vital that Christmas time, birthday time, Tuesday, support your local businesses.
I know.
I will
and
get off my high horse
everyone-
on that one, but please support your local
And they're
businesses.
so generous.
They're so incredibly
no one
generous.
has said no.
Yeah.
Like no one says no. And my friend Steve Bullington, a little plug for him.
Yep.
He says yes to whoever.
Yeah.
And he's just somebody I know that owns a business. And I'm sure all these other businesses, people just support each other within this community. And just the generosity
Is
and
amazing. It
Yeah.
is amazing.
I mean,
So-
if you don't hear anything else, I hope you all hear Memory Matters offers free services for dementia-related illnesses.
and their caregivers.
And caregivers. We are here for you. And in turn, please support us. How much are our tickets?
Tickets are $125 each, or you can get 5 for $500. Grab a few of your friends,
Yes.
come together.
And
They're
how can they
available-
get the tickets?
They're available on Eventbrite, or you can come by the house, 2803 Sherwood Drive in Brunswick. We're next to the hospital.
2803 Sherwood Drive in Brunswick, right by the hospital.
Yes. And we have obviously event tickets. We have raffle tickets, huge raffle prizes, including a Golden Isles passport tour from High Tide Aviation.
Nice.
So there's, you fly around.
Oh, that
It's
is such an amazing
Yeah, that's for 3
view.
people. We have a downtown dining package with Tipsy's, Fox's Pizza, and Nautica Joe's. Again, plug in those wonderful local places. Village dining package with Zuzu's, Frosty's, and Mallory Street Cafe. So we'll have a lot more, but it's there. Almost everybody has donated. Shackelford's and Planners Exchange, Yellow Canary, just goes on and on. Joseph Jewelers gave a lovely necklace and earrings. I mean, everybody is just so generous.
I'm so excited about the event.
It's going to be
It's
a
so
ball.
fun. And what are we wearing? Does it matter?
As they say, they call it Island Cocktail.
Island cocktail.
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah.
Last year
not
I wore
formal,
a dress.
but not shorts. So
Yeah, because it's fun. It's
It
so
is
nice to get dressed on a Sunday afternoon, or just
Yes.
keep your church clothes on.
yeah. And I will say, rain does not cancel.
Right.
Now, our plan at this point, and what we have done in the past, we'll have Michael Hewlett outside in the courtyard, and there will be a bar out there. By the way, that is included in your $125. Put that in there.
Very good to know. $125, eat and drink.
Yep. And then we'll have hot banana coffee inside in the ballroom. And then that's from 5 to 7. And then at 7 o'clock, we'll give them a break and let them enjoy Yolanda Neely,
Yeah.
who is closing it out. She'll do the live
She's a
auction.
DJ.
She is, yes.
And one of our board members.
Yes.
And
they-
she owns the jazz station here, 94.7.
Yes, which is also a nonprofit.
Yes.
And she's also the morning DJ on Magic 105.9.
We love Yolanda.
She's so incredibly talented.
Yes.
But she'll do the live auction and announce the raffle prizes and the silent auction prizes, and then it's a time to dance the rest of the night away with your favorite songs. That's the time to request whatever your favorite song is and boogie down for the rest of the night. Boogie down, am I showing my age? But it's going to be a great night.
Throw down. Is that
Throw
what
down.
we do now?
I don't know.
What do we do now, Wayne?
Get down.
Okay.
Hey, that's a Casey and the Sunshine Band, right?
I was thinking that
Is
too.
it Casey and the Sunshine Band?
Yes. One of my favorite groups.
Get down, get down.
Get down, get down. Okay, you don't want me to sing. Anything else that we have left out, Wayne? Can you think of anything? It's an important cause
It's a very important
and
cause.
a very fun event, and
It
we
is.
need your support. So memorymattersglen.com.
Correct.
Okay.
All the links are on there. It'll take you to Eventbrite. You can buy raffle tickets. The Stock the Bar raffle. Stock
Oh.
the Bar raffle is only $20. We're only selling 200 tickets, and there are a few $100s worth of alcohol.
This is
included
so
in this.
cool. If you want to stock your bar at home, you want to buy these raffle tickets.
Yeah.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
such a good idea.
Yeah.
And I was going to say one more thing. Oh, when you see this and you like it and you're local, would you please share it so that we can get as many people at our event this month. We really appreciate your support.
And I will say one other thing, if I could. Memory Matters has actually been here for 30 years. We are celebrating our 30th anniversary this year, which is amazing.
Yes.
And, it is, again, thanks to the support of our local community, because as we said, we don't get any government funding. We don't have any support from any national organizations. This is our big fundraiser. The other big funding that we get is from the Georgia Alzheimer's Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
They do the Golden Isles Alzheimer's Walk, and that'll be coming up in November. I need to check the date. I think it's the beginning of November. So everything's local.
Yes.
And, we really appreciate, but please tell everybody, because it's amazing how many people don't know that Memory Matters is here. I mean, it's such a great organization, and I'm not patting myself on the back. I'm carrying on somebody else's vision. But it's a great organization, and we need people to know that we're here, please. And it's free. Please take advantage of everything.
Well, thank you for spending the morning with me.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It was fun.
Yes, thank you. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please subscribe and have a beautiful and healthy day.
Catch me for it.